Yo, go. So, guys, for people that are just joining the channel, seeing the videos, I grew up in a narcissistic nest. My whole life, I've been scapegoated. My whole life, I've been in toxic friend groups. My whole life, I've been in toxic workplaces. My whole life, I've lived in shared studio spaces with other artists, with toxic people. My whole life, I've lived in a house which had a narcissistic landlord. Now, you might think coincidences, you might think, oh, it's just by luck, by chance. But then, as you start awakening, as you start healing on your journey, you start realizing that nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is luck. All these things that are happening, some contract we made before we came here, we came to learn these lessons. So do your own research. But from my understanding, spiritually, we actually choose these dynamics, these parents. We choose them before we come here because we want to awaken, and because we've got a greater purpose where we have to learn these tough lessons. Now, a lot of people are in this reality and they never awakened, they never have these problems, they don't see the matrix for what it is. These are all the NPCs. They don't actually grow, they don't self-reflect, they don't wonder what part of the game that they're playing, and that's completely fine. It's not for us to judge them, it's not for us to wake them up. It's just for us to have an awareness of who we are and who they are. So some people are going to intentionally try to take you out your position, trick you out your position. They're going to intentionally provoke you. Now, from what I've found on my journey, on my walk is that these narcopaths, so say we grew up in the same narcopath nest. There was a chef making these buns, and of the buns in the oven, all of the buns, they were cooked at the same temperature, but every single bun burnt and it was sealed. But for some reason, one of the buns was still soft in the middle. It might have had a little bit of charring, but if you scrape the charring off, in the middle, the bun, it was still edible, it was still pleasant to eat, it was still sweet. This is an analogy of what this scenario is. This is sort of a good way of describing it to someone in layman terms. So your brothers and sisters, they all will have some level of that spirit within them that they learn, because you learn it in the spirit, in the household. So most of your siblings will be narcopaths. Maybe one or two will come out as empaths. One or two will not allow the toxic parent or toxic parents, usually it's one, to damage their ideals. They will hold on to their humanity. There will still be a loving, caring person. In fact, because you learn these systems in your household, when you have a narcopath parent, usually the other caregiver is usually empathic. So what you have, you tend to actually learn. So one of you learned the empathic position, and one learned the narcopath position. Now, the empathic parent, they usually supply for the narcopath. So they're the one that, usually in my case, it was the mother. So they're the one, in these traditional household, cooking all the food, shopping, doing all these things. And then you have the sort of despotic narcopath narcopath leader, tyrant at the helm who's sort of telling everyone what to do, domestic abuse, beating up the mother, unpredictable in their mood swings, making you earn their love, making you, you have to do good in school. You don't get often, you're not taught about boundaries. I've even been in a playground where I seen a little girl. So there was two girls, and I believe one of the girls said to the other girl, "Can you stop touching my hair or my head or something?" I can't remember what it was, but this is healthy. This is what a healthy parent brings up their kids, to have agency at a young age, to disagree with someone, to talk back, or to fight their own corner, to tell off someone that's crossing their boundaries. Whereas in a narcopath household, the narcissistic parent wants to be able to abuse you. They want to train you to be their supplier. So the empathic ones, in fact, most of you won't know, won't have it. All of you, in fact, won't have any boundaries, because in fact, narcopaths don't have boundaries themselves. This is a part of the reason why they do what they're doing. They don't have their own boundary, and that's why they don't actually know what boundaries are. They tend to overstep them. They tend to test them, push them to the limit. They tend to step over people's boundaries, because the same happens to them. They're usually people who tend to want to control people, control every situation. And that's usually because when they grew up, they were in a position where they were not in control. As I explained before, the unpredictable parent, or the narcopath parents, overpraising them for things that are very basic. So guys, we grow up being these supply sources. We grow up not setting boundaries. We grow up being people pleasers. And what tends to happen is, when you start healing and you start actually going out and making, telling people no, and making all these boundaries, the people who have an issue with that, those people were gaining from abusing you, if that makes sense. So you'll get people who enjoy the fact that you didn't have boundaries. They forget all the good that you did for them. They remember all the ones they did for you, and they'll be quick to throw you away, discard you. But what I wanted to quickly speak of, it's just a continuation of what I was saying in the last video, in terms of how it's become fashionable to ignore, to be rude, to act like people don't exist, walking like you're about to bash people out the way, walking into people, talking on top of people, ignoring people, all this very horrible behavior where there's actually no decorum. It just teaches you sort of how society is. But what I've found is, on my journey, some of these narcopaths actually grey rock us as well. So they do to us the exact same sort of things we do to them. Like, a good way of even telling someone is a narcopath is, like sometimes, like I was saying this about when I used to go to the public gyms. Sometimes I would just put my headphones on, put on my hood, or put on my hat down, and just work out. And I won't speak to certain people, and then those same people, they would see me the next time, and then they would now they will start avoiding me. Now they'll start blanking me blatantly by doing it in a way where it's directed to me. So it's like, that's a good way of testing narcs. Ignore them once, they will ignore you back. So for me, if somebody ignores me, I don't straight away honestly think they're ignoring me personally. I think, okay, maybe this person's had a bad day. Maybe they're just focused on their workout. Maybe, they broke up with their girlfriend. Maybe they got evicted. All these things it could be. But I don't take it like I must get revenge on them for not speaking to me. This is what narcopaths do. Once you ignore them, once you grey rock them, they go out of their way to make sure you will learn not to ignore them, or to not give them the supply they want. I feel like if I'm doing something that I know I've got quite a lot of information about, and I tell a narcopath or correct a narcopath, they can't take it. But I think in society, most people are like that anyway. Is that you can't correct someone or tell someone, oh, try this. They would straight away take it as you're trying to abuse them. They take it as, who do you think you are? If you say, oh, hold this way, they'll go back to you like, all right, but it's a grey rock response. It's a response of like, I'm not listening to you, like, or whatever. Just hurry up and do what you're saying. I'm not listening. I've done it even when I was showing someone, but I've decided not to really help people on the skate park. But when you're helping someone and you give them advice, sometimes you will get a person and they'll look at you and they'll be like, and they will look away. So they're not actually taking your advice. So it's actually better to not give it. So just bear that in mind on your walk. Narcopaths, they will ignore you back. They will grey rock you back. They will give you one word answers. They will isolate you. They will on purposely want to get revenge, punish you, make you feel left out of their toxic friend groups. I don't want to be in their toxic friend groups anyway, but what you'll find with a lot of these characters is that they actually have a we have so a lot of the empaths, we have discernment, or we are growing our discernment. They also have a spiritual sensibility. And what I mean by that, these narcopaths, they can sense that you're a people pleaser. They can sense, they're always watching your facial expression. They sort of know when you want to be validated. That's why we both can attract one another at times. What it is they are looking for these small facial movements. They're looking for these small eye movements as well. So once they can sense that you're someone that is an empath, you're someone that maybe you over-explain yourself, maybe you're someone who is a people pleaser, they will do everything in their power to excite that wound. They will try to ignore you. They will try to withhold validation. They won't agree with you. If they want to elicit in you the pain that you may be feeling or that they're feeling, by isolating you, by ignoring you, by treating you like you don't exist, because they have sensed that you're the type of person who may want that. So the key thing here, the key takeaway, is to validate yourself. Don't look for validation. You know what happened. Most High knows what happened. Don't explain to people. If somebody hears a smear campaign about you and they want to believe it, let them go off with that. Let them believe it. Don't explain. Don't fight back. Don't defend yourself. Don't try to change the mind of the narcopath. This thing, they're doing it on purpose. I've done this in the past where I'm trying to go around explaining. That explaining is supply. They feed off it. They get a charge from it. So we don't want to be charging these characters. We don't want to be giving them fuel. We want to heal. We want to learn to sit with our own wounds, to heal ourselves, and you will notice that when you start healing yourself, you won't be in these dynamics. You will literally walk away. When there's a narcissistic landlord, you won't rent the house. When there's narcissistic artist mates, you won't join the studios. When there's a toxic work, you will leave. When there is a dysfunctional toxic family system, you will leave the family system. You will actually go no contact with the girlfriend, narcissistic boyfriend, the incubus, the succubus, the narcopath friend group who are trying to always have events. They never invite you to the events. They want to always let you know there was an event happening and you were not there and they had a great time without you. They want to really excite this kind of like, it's actually very normal, it's very human to be seen, but they want to really excite that wound that the parent created in you, Don't let them do it. Keep moving forward in a positive way.